Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm currently throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, here's what you can do. You can just say hi or use someone else's emotes, whatever you want to do. This is the intro portion of the stream. This is a chance for people to say hi, hang out. We're going to let people be fashionably late and still come in to the stream and chill with us. We're going to eventually I'm going to start working on this model kit that I've been working on. This is the third stream of working on the Strike Noir. We've completed the upper part of the kit, and I have completed the legs of the kit, but it's time to work on the waist, and then we're going to work on the weapons. Hey, that's not good. Oh, good. It already got banned. Hooray. Did get followed by a hoss, and then immediately banned. Thank you, Serybot. SERY_bot. Take a look at it. Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. I was like, oh, cool, a new follower. Wait, nope, never mind. So, that's fun. That's a fun way to start the stream. Is having a new awful person out there doing awful things. But we don't have to worry about that because they're blocked, which is nice. Anyway, yeah, working on that. Worked on the legs, working on the upper body of the Strike Noir. We're going to continue working on it. I know what kit we're going to work on after this. I got a high grade waiting to go, but we're not ready for that. Also, I did fix the parts of the shoulders that I had not done correctly. These are supposed to move up and down, and they were stuck, so they would not move, and I got them to work, which is pretty good. Pretty psyched about that. Also, apparently I never put the back sticker on the back of the head, which you can barely see, and it doesn't really matter that I did. Oh, hey! Thanks for being here. So saying, what's up, Pat? James is in town. Dropped in to say hey. A little Abatello. Well, Mike, thanks for dropping in. Say hi to James for me as well. Glad the brothers are hanging out. That's always nice. Yeah, we're working on a model kit tonight. We're going to talk about some video game stuff. Talk about, I don't know, people's weekends. I guess. I don't, who knows? I got some manga to talk about, some anime to talk about. The summer anime season is ending, and the fall anime season isn't starting for a few days. Now, we didn't have that into the spring and summer. The spring anime season actually continued on, and then the summer was starting, but there was still old stuff happening. Some of that had to do with the coronavirus and delays. Some of that also had to do with the fact that the spring season had a lot of 13 episode runs of shows, which is unusual. Usually there's only like a couple. This season there's only a couple. But this season, more traditionally, stuff just is ending and new stuff isn't starting. Actually, I want to see that. Before we even get into building, I want to check that out right quick. Let me just check out on the old Annie chart here. Checking on old Annie chart, seeing, yeah, we got 6 days and 13 hours before our first show of the new season, which is the second part of 86 or 8686, which is weird. That's not for 6 days, and then a few days after that, we get banished from the heroes party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, which I'm very excited about because I read and enjoyed that manga, so I'm excited to check this out. Check out that show. But yeah, so it'll be a few days. Hey, Aristofan just resubbed. That is tier 2 for 37 months. Not all of that was tier 2, but 37 months of being a subscriber. Saying even to Pat, well, even to you. Welcome, Aristofan. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site the moat in the chat if you're a subscriber. Thank you, Aristofan, for that continued support. Appreciate it very much. But yeah, I've been I spent some of today finishing up a show, or the first part of it, because they got announced that part 2 is coming in January. Did not know that there was going to be split into 2 cores with a break. That has kind of been the new normal for shows, for anime, is instead of doing like 24 episodes or 26 episodes, they'll do like 12 or 13, take a season off, then do the other half, which I honestly think is the better way to go. With the season in between, I think that's pretty great. 86 is the same thing. First one was the beginning of the season, the spring part, and now we're getting the fall. or maybe it was a winter show. I can't remember. But anyway, there was a break, which I think is probably for the best. Um, I think that's an interesting way to go, and I'm more happy to see that than seeing just the double length shows. Uh, but yeah, I finished the show and then watched a couple other ones just to kind of get a sense of what they're about. I liked one, I didn't like the other, but that's the way it goes. All right, I'm gonna retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to come and join us. If it's a chill Saturday evening, it's a chill Saturday evening. That's okay. Also, I also understand that sometimes um, when a kit like this master grade takes a while to build, people are just like, "Oh yeah, you've been working on that for a couple streams, huh?" And I get that it's sometimes old hat. But anyway, here's the kit we've been working on here, and now we are going to push this stuff aside a little bit. We'll go over here, and then we'll get ready to build the waist, which is going to require a bunch of polycaps, which is traditionally what you're going to find when you're connecting big pieces of plastic like this. You have a lot of polycaps. It's okay. So that goes on top. That's going to go on the bottom. And then 7's on the side. So yeah. I have been playing a game that is free on Steam and Itch, and you should check out, called Get in the Car Loser. It is it's an RPG with visual novel scenes that play out between characters. It's a road trip. It's a queer disaster. And the thing about Get in the Car Loser is that there's no subtext. It's just text. And it's refreshing that it's just text. As someone that watches, a lot of anime and reads a lot of manga, uh, queer stuff is still, unfortunately, there's a lot of that is just subtext, a lot of relationship stuff, and not just gay and lesbian, but bisexual stuff, gender fluid stuff like that is often just kind of like unspoken, which is a real shame. And certainly in video games, it can be as well. But this is not. This is just a fucking gay ass, gay video game, and it's refreshingly straightforward about it, and honest about it, and a pretty fucking good time. It's not my favorite video game of the year by any means, and that's mostly just due to like the scope of the game. But it's enjoyable. It is lovely to that it exists. I'm happy. Yes. Glenn says, "Oh, they not gay forward, huh?" Yes, this game is very earnestly gay forward, I guess is the way to look at it. That you're not wrong in that respect. Um, it's very in your face about it. It is as Garth Marenghi says, I know writers who use symbolism and they're cowards. But in this case, it would be I know writers who use subtext and they're cowards. Uh, or is it metaphors? Is it similes? I messed up the reference, but you get what I'm saying. Um, it is just like, hey, check this out. This shit's gay. And that is fun. The fact that it's free was such a wonderful surprise. I don't know. I mean, sponsor must be somebody. Somebody spent them some money to make sure we can all play this because it's taken quite some time for it to be a thing. But I'm not. I'm the Garth line is subtext. Is that what it is, Lashbrook? Is it? I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards. Is that I could just say the line and I didn't have to modify it? Dang. I will be honest with you. It has been a little while since I have seen Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, and I should fix that shit. Should fix that shit. That's my own fuck up, and I should make it not a fuck up anymore. Should take care of business and and revisit. I have the game downloaded, but haven't gotten around to checking it out. Yeah, I mean, if you got the time, it's fun. I am liking it. Um, I'm kind of on a. I know that next month I'll be buying a video game. Next month I will be picking up the latest expansion for Jackbox, the next party pack. I'm gonna get that. I know I'm getting the party pack um, next month. So my games funds are a little light right now. So having a free game was a pleasant surprise. Um, yes, Dark Marenghi, yeah, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is on Amazon Prime. It's just it has been a long time since I watched it, and I am due for a rewatch, especially considering how I am being grossly inept with my memories of it. But yeah, uh, yeah, that's probably the video game I'm playing. I mean, honestly, I'm playing a ton of Hearthstone. I mean, that's just par for the course. Um, I have a fun deck that I play, a fun mage deck that I've been playing that has been, yeah, a good time. Uh, it's a elemental uh, mage deck, and it's not great, but it is very good. And when it works really well, and people are not expecting it, so it's pretty fun. Uh, but yeah, I've been playing that in standard, which I don't usually play a lot of, but I'm doing it and I'm having fun with it. So yeah, that's a lot of my video gaming right now. I have been checking out some panels for the Game Developers of Color Expo. A lot of it's going to be up on YouTube, but they are not going to put them like all up at once. They will sporadically be putting them up. So I would say find their YouTube page and jump in on that because you're going to see some cool shit. Um, the There was a very informative and I think from a very good place panel on becoming a Twitch affiliate, which yeah, to go from streamer to affiliate, which I thought was beneficial and earnest and honest and broke to some stuff that I'm like, yeah, this is stuff that like okay. Mm, mm, mm. People ask me sometimes about how I ended up becoming an affiliate, how I got affiliate and built my audience. And the thing I have to say to people is, oh, you shouldn't listen to me because I did it weird. I'm not what you should be looking at as far as how to do it. Because my answer to how did I build an audience for a streaming audience is, well, for many years, I studied comedy and performed for very few people in New York and gradually built up a larger audience. And then uh, through mutual friends, some of whom were very successful in their own right, started doing panels at the largest video game convention, fan convention that exists, which introduced me to a whole plethora of other incredibly talented people. Um, and I was able to be on podcasts and in videos for people with large audiences. And then I started streaming. Also, I have and enough people came to hang out, and I have people that know me from that, and also people that know me from the comedy scene, and people that know me just as a person on Twitter, and then also yeah, and then I stuck with it and kept doing it. Hey, Dirty, welcome. And so I can't really give people advice. That was the thing. Like, I was asked a couple years ago to be in a panel about like pitching yourself and your panel to conventions, um, and how you get started with doing that. And I had to be honest. I had to say, hey, just so you know, the first panel I ever did was at the second ever PAX East for 600 people. So I can't tell you how to get started there. I can tell you a bunch of things about panels. Like I gave advice on the number one piece of advice I said is like see if there's a mission statement about what kind of panels the convention or expo is looking for, and then see if you can give them something they don't know that they want or they need. I would consider myself to be the king of panels PAX didn't know that it was going to love. Because I have done some very unique panels that I'm sure that people did have to fight for on my behalf that have been very successful and very good. Am I the first person to do comedy panels at PAX? No. Am I the first person to do a short form improv game at PAX? No. But have I been very successful with mine? Yes. The reason the improvised postmortem exists is because 404ing it, they kept putting it night, and that's not a night panel. That's a daytime panel. That's a I'm going to take a break from the show floor and go hang out and have a good time panel. And I was like, and they kept putting in the evening. So like, well, you have these guests, and it's going to do well, so we'll put it at night. I'm like, okay. Oh, they want a night panel. I'll give them a fucking night panel, and I'll come up with one. Pat Bear's Anime Club, as far as I can tell, is the only U.S. panel about anime at Impact's history. There have been people talking about anime. There are panels about anime video games or anime-inspired video games. But a panel dedicated to just talking about how much they love anime. There was a YouTuber who did stuff on anime at a PAX Australia convention, I believe. That was not the intent, but that was some of the content. So I believe that is true. That the Pat Bear's Anime Club is the only U.S. anime panel at PAX. And the fact that it did very well, and my numbers for the streaming have done very well for the two PAX digital PAXs, is an indication that I am tapping into people that are like very psyched about it. I'm pretty good at understanding what there might be an audience for. So I always say like, hey, if you're gonna like, if you want to do a panel at a convention, first off, you do need to know what are people looking for? What are these people looking for there? Because sometimes they're not looking for that, right? Like, I had pitched a panel to a queer convention, and they basically said like, this feels like an entertainment panel. We separate entertainment panels and live performances between, like, so we want our panels to be, they can be funny, but they're not meant to be comedy. Whereas our stage show is funny. And I was like, oh, that's great to know. I will pitch you a comedy show. I won't pitch you a funny panel. Basically, I want to do improvised postmortem at a queer show, and just do like and just kind of do, it was a queer Comic-Con, and just do like basically a roast of all the bad like tropes in not only queer comics and queer media, but also people's failed attempts at placating that audience, dropping a bone to that audience. So I just wanted to do that kind of a focus, and that was not something they were looking for. So instead, I was pitching. Now, of course, this didn't happen because of COVID. Was pitching a performance show with some improv and some stand up, and I was probably going to end up eventually booking a musical act. The idea being the like getting some very talented queer folks to perform, but it was going to be an anime geeky kind of performance. Because they weren't necessarily looking for Pat Bear's Anime Club about gay stuff or improvised postmortem about gay stuff. They were looking for kind of more. It was a newer convention, and I think they were looking for more like, hey, let's do our eyes on this kind of media. Let's have these discussions on these kind of topics, and which is totally fair and reasonable. And I wasn't against them for wanting to do something like that. Have their panels that were more like, like information, like how to have a like I don't know what to say. Like how to have a gamer night, a GAYmer night, like how to host your own that, like that kind of thing of like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like that panel, I can totally understand. Or uh, people that had run instead of doing the trivia, it was a conversation with people that ran um, a drag show, a drag race specifically, trivia night. And it was like talking to the hosts of that. But it wasn't like them doing trivia, it was them talking about this night. It's like, okay, that's the kind of panels you're doing. Great. So it's weird for me to suggest these panels because they don't fit the MO that you are identifying with. It's like, great, that's an important thing. Um, I have learned a lot from conventions and trying to figure out what works at them and what doesn't because I have been to a bunch of them. And also, I've been to a bunch of bad conventions and I've been to a bunch of bad panels at said bad conventions. I've been to bad panels at good conventions. I've been to great panels at terrible conventions, accidentally incredible panels. Uh, Panels where this was so funny. This was years ago. It was a convention in Connecticut. It was at a ballroom at a hotel, so the big room of the hotel, and then they had like a smaller room for two smaller rooms for panels, and they didn't have microphones or speakers. They had a platform, so they had a riser, but they didn't have microphones because they originally didn't think that anyone was going to come to the panels. To which I would say, then don't have panels. So they didn't have any amplification. Um, and I was attending one, and so the host goes that is hosting this comes up. It says like, hey, we have whatever. It says, hey, um, one of our panelists is very soft spoken, so everybody come on up, and we're gonna sit close. Everybody sit close, and so people who were kind of sitting in the back moved up to the front rows, and they were like, no, 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 come closer. And then everyone just picked up their chairs and moved their chairs up to so they were sitting like this far away from the dais. Um, and then they were like, great, okay. And then somebody in the crowd was just like, I have a megaphone. Will that help? And it was like a little toy megaphone. And they were like, great, thank you so much. And then they handed the person who was soft spoken a megaphone and they just talked into the megaphone. Um, and they weren't like super loud, but they were loud. They were louder. And it was like this kind of thing of just like, well, this isn't what we were expecting, but we're all going to roll with it. And that's like, you know, that was before my days as a tech person. So nowadays, when I'm at a convention and things are going wonky or weird, that's when I swoop into action. There have been several panels at conventions that I have gone to where I provided tech support for my friends because I went to go support my friends, and there was like they didn't have an adapter for the laptop that someone brought. They didn't have they didn't have audio. They needed audio cables. And so, then it's just time for Pat to reach into his big bag of tricks and pull out adapters because I've said this before on stream, but it does bear repeating. When you see a Pat Bear panel, uh, I'm picking Shy Ronnie levels of softness from your description. Dirty, this was a person who could not project. And in my youth, because this was when I was a teenager, I was not perceptive enough to understand. But now, as a grown ass man, or person, I can say that this person, this panelist, it took all their courage to agree to be on that panel. And the idea that they didn't even have a microphone and they were going to have to yell was beyond. And the fact that that person didn't like say like I'm out is awesome. I was grateful for it. It was a low pressure panel at a very small convention. Like I said, this was this was like a small room with like 20 people watching this, and that was like pretty full. But this person was just not. prepared for what the situation they'd been put in. But anyway, so um, when I go to a convention and I have PowerPoint, right, or let's say I'm 404ing it, so I'm going to have a PowerPoint that's going to have audio and video. Not ever do you ever try utility belt? So no, I've never done a like utility belt like a la Batman or just like a bunch of pouches on a strap. Instead, I just have a backpack full of uh, often heavy duty Ziploc bags because I'm flying and I want to do carry on. So I have big Ziploc bags full of tech equipment. But if it's showing we're taking a train, I don't need Ziploc bags. I will just have bags that normally hold microphones because they have they're black bags that you would also they're very similar to money bags that you would find like the blue bags that people store money in, and it has a nice little zipper on it. But I've recycled those or reused those microphone container or carriers to store adapters and such. So yeah, when I show up at a convention, this is what I've got. I've got my laptop. I've got because it has native HDMI. I also have a USB-C to HDMI adapter. I also have a USB-C to VGA adapter. I also have um, uh, a USB 2.0 or USB 3.0 to VGA adapter. I also have my iPad mini, which has the project or a smaller truncated version of the project on it. And then with that, I also have Lightning to HDMI and Lightning to VGA. Also, my PowerPoint presentation, I have that on a USB stick in case they have a computer there that they want to run it off of. It's also in the cloud. It's on my Google Drive and in one of my emails. So I can forward the email in case I can't log into my Google Drive. I can forward the document out of an email or download it from that email. Because most of the panels that I do don't work if I can't use, almost all of them, don't work if I can't use PowerPoint. If I can't use the video app. So I do all of that. That also means that when I go to a convention, I have all of those adapters on my person at any time. And I also have other adapters like audio splitters, like RCA male to male hubs, like female to female little adapters. If people are trying to run a RCA out of something, because sometimes I help out with people to do that. I have a VGA, or it's VGA to RCA or S video adapter, and that's meant to be able to plug in a laptop to a television. But it also can work the other way if you want to get a television or a game system, an old game system, and plug that in to or we're gonna build the Noir Striker unit, which is the backpack with some of the weapons. We're starting on that because we're basically body complete, and now we get to go to this step, which is pretty fun. Now we get to go into Q, and we're gonna build 2 of these at once. So we'll do 2 of these at once, which is fun. No, I have all of those adapters. I have audio adapters. I have video things. I have I have at least 2 HDMI cables. I have a couple, I have a short XLR cable. I used to bring a longer XLR cable, but I realized I never used it. So I eventually just went with a short one, which I have used in the past because sometimes the XLR just isn't long enough and you want to throw another one on there, or one dies and I can be like, well, I have this. I have a bunch of gear that I rarely ever use, but I often always need something. Like sometimes people just need that USB key. That USB key to just be like, oh, I have it on my laptop. Oh, shoot. Well, I can't do anything about that. Or, oh, if I had a USB, you could record out of the soundboard. Oh, I don't have, like, here you go. Here you go. It's a, like I think it's like a 4 gigs. It's 4 gigs that I have basically empty. I'm like, here you go. I didn't know if you would need this, but I've got it. So here you go. That is me. That is me being very over prepared for my years of being a tech person, but also it's helpful. It's nice to have, um, because I have been and in audience for friends panels where they're like, "Oh shoot, you don't have like I can just hear you don't. Oh, you don't," and I'll be like, "What do you need?" Because I probably have it in my bag. Uh, Down to um, handing Drew Scanlon 2 brand new AA batteries because he ran out of batteries and his um, one of his recorders needed new batteries and he ran out of them because it was like towards the end of the convention. And I was like, oh yeah, I got like 4 brand new AA batteries in my bag because what if I need to record audio for a thing and I run out of batteries? Might only be useful for League of Heels, but if you thought about getting an upscaler like a RetroTink for older connections like Component and S videos. Oh yeah. So when we're in Boston, we have access to a Mister, um, and we can run stuff off of that. Um, and then there is another device that one of the guys has for that. Um, and we've done that. Really, it's generally like the real honest thing is that an upscaler isn't gonna work great for it works okay for an N64, but it doesn't work perfect. What I really honestly, if we here's the thing, if we had kept doing it all the time and we were doing consistent and we were even doing outside of packs, which we at one point we did think about, but we were never actually going to get there. The thing that we needed to spend a bunch of money to get and the N64 with an HDMI out and get the kit that does that, or pay someone to do that. That's really what we should have done at some point, and we didn't. Is we should have spent a lot of money to get that done, so that we could just walk in, plug an HDMI cable in, no problem. Because another issue you have is trying to get the audio out of it split, and because you have to do it's just you need that. Oh yeah, I have a DMI adapters and a bunch of other stuff. I've got like quarter inch or say a quarter inch to XLR adapters, and I've got a bunch of other audio adapters and stuff. But yeah, um, honestly, that's one of the reasons why sometimes we didn't use the N64 because it was just easier to use a laptop. Even my laptop, like low powered laptop, is gonna just it'll get the job done, and then I don't have to worry about upscaling and worrying about stuff like that. Um, because it can be fucking frustrating to do all this work and then just be like, well, we can't do it anymore. Or the last time that we were on the main stage at PAX East, it we didn't know up until almost showtime if the N64 was going to work. Uh, and I can't keep. I was like, I can't keep doing this like this. I love this thing, but I can't. It can't be like this. I can't be constantly worried that a major component of the show is not going to work because there's no time to get into a venue to make sure it works. It was consistently just a big nightmare. I love it. I love the show. I love doing it, but it can be a real like, oh boy, what are we gonna do? Um, Especially once I realized so the first Pat Bear's Anime Club that happened, I fucked up because I included video in it. And that was too much work. And now that I'm not gonna do that, and it's just gonna be photos, like a photo of the thing, and it can be a PDF. It doesn't have to be a PowerPoint. It can just be a PDF. Like Pat Bear's Anime Club does require work because I require people to tell me things that they want to talk about. Like they have to do some prep. It's the least amount of prep I've ever done for a panel at PAX, and um, I don't have to hound people too much. One of these days, improvised postmortem is a lot of work on my end, and it is zero work on my guest's end, and that's incredible. I That's the only panel I've ever had that it's at. My Lego panel that I did once required zero effort on my panelist part, and still one of them was late. So whatever. But still, that didn't require homework. Improvised postmortem. Pat Bear's Anime Club does require some homework. I need people to tell me like the names of like 3 anime or 4 anime they want to talk about, which is not a lot, but I do need them to tell me like sooner than later what they want to talk about, so that I make sure that we don't have any overlap between like my guests and myself. So it is a little bit of work. Um, but the idea is eventually, like when I start doing panels in front of an audience again, because that will happen at some point. Um, uh, the idea is I just want to do panels where I don't require tons of work from the people I've asked to be on my panel. And if I can limit my work, like I said, Paprika's Anime Club doesn't require a lot of effort on my part setup wise. I have to collect the names of things and then find photos for said things. Like that's not a ton of work. It works out pretty okay. All right, so how does this look? So this is gonna look like this, and then okay, sorry. This required my attention because I wasn't sure how it went together, and I think I got it together. We'll find out if I did it right or not. And then that goes in. As always, once I figure out the first one, the second one's a lot easier. So, oh, that is okay. That did work. And then this goes like this. Great. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that is the big goal is when I do start doing panels in front of other people again in person and not just streaming panels. My goal is to just do panels that don't require me to be so stressed. Like I don't want to be putting together a PowerPoint and embed and downloading videos off of ripping videos off of YouTube on the train with train Wi-Fi because it wasn't until that morning that my guests sent me stuff, which happened. Or one convention that was not a PAX, one of my panelists was sending me videos during the convention the day of the panel, and I had to like stop having fun to go and finish it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that shit anymore. Like I'm making easier panels for me to be in and have a good time doing, and then also that way I can take the stress off of my guests. Uh, so that is kind of the plan, which is why improvised postmortem is so great because it is work on my part, but it's no work on my panelist part. I have to come up with some things and some jokes and some such and some fun things. They don't have to do anything, which is nice. It's nice for them and nice for me. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I don't know. Game Developers of Color Expo is happening this weekend, as I said. That's been fun to stop in and check out here and there. I have not seen enough of it. I would like to see more of it. Um, but I'll be watching a lot of that on YouTube probably after the fact. You ever make something and you're like, this wasn't worth it. That was me today, where I made a thing, and then when it was done, I was like, this was not worth the effort I put in to make this thing. Um, so beef bolognese is a lot of steps, lot of simmering, a lot of combining, a lot of stuff. You get a good thick meaty sauce. Goes great on. You don't want to put it on spaghetti. You want to put it on stuff that'll stick to, like a ziti rigatoni. Ooh, so good on that. Or regular ziti in any way. That'll work. Elbow macaroni actually probably work good. The spiral pastas that are bow ties. Bow ties? Ooh, bow tie would be great. That kind of stuff work out real well. Um, what doesn't work out real well is when you finish it and you're like, this doesn't taste great. This is not what I want. This just isn't. This isn't awesome. And what if it was? So yeah, that was kind of a bummer, I would say. I would call that a bummer. Uh, I was looking forward to it, and like I said, it's a lot of goddamn work. But let's be real. I was due for for something that didn't turn out the way I would like. I was going to say colossal failure. It wasn't a failure. It just wasn't great. Um, I was due for it. I was definitely due for a oofta. Um, so yeah, so like with that in mind, like, hey, try to get out of my comfort zone, try to make something a little different, no problem. I'm going to either dump in a bunch more of stewed tomatoes just to make it a thinner sauce, which might be okay, um, or put in beans and some spices and make into a chili. But I have to add in some water to dilute it, but I don't know. Uh, Dirty says, I did the exact opposite and made instant pot beans. Super easy, only 5 minutes prep work. Hell yeah. I mean, look, that's the thing, right? Sometimes you just got to do something real easy, real simple, real fun. Like, just be like, yeah, I'm just going to make this bing, bang, boom, done, done, done. Nice and easy. I think that's totally reasonable. And I applaud you for even going for something very basic and good, right? I mean, that's the way to go. Uh, I did like today. I just ate leftover taco meat because we ran out of taco shells. But we still had some meat left, so I just used that and some rice and just threw cheese on top of it, and that was my lunch. That was and like that was microwaved for a minute and a half, like a little bit of hot sauce at the end, like shredded cheese, the leftover taco meat, and some rice. And it was just like, this is lunch. This is a fantastic lunch. It's the end of the month, and those beans will last for 7 meals. Yes, dirty. Sometimes you just gotta finish it up. You're like, you know what? What if I just ate this right now and just went with whatever I've got? Because yeah, it's towards the end of the month. Speaking of which, I know you're a subscriber and you don't have to worry about it, right? But I gotta put it out there. September ends on the 30th. It is not the 30th yet, but we are on our way. If for whatever weird reason you're not already a subscriber, now would be a great time to jump in on that because you could save money. If you want to gift a sub, save money that way too. Just want to put it out there because we are getting towards the end of the month. Um, should I have recorded my Q&A for my Patreon today? Yes. But that would have required me to remember before today to send out the email calling for questions, which I did not. So I will instead film that on Monday if anybody sends me. I already got one question in. I'm waiting for one more. If you were unaware of this fact, this thing that is true is that every month at the end of the month I do a Q&A with my patrons, my $1, $3, $5, $10 patrons. It is one of the things you get as being a $1 patron is you get this Q&A, and then you also get emails about my schedule. So you don't really get much content for $1, but whatever. So I sent out. I always send out a thing of like, "Hey, send your questions. You don't have to wait for me this email. You can always email me or this message, or you can ask a question at the end of any post," which is true. That is a true statement. So I. Okay, so that's gonna go in like that. That's weird. This thing just kind of wobbles around. I don't know what that does yet. But yeah. I probably should have recorded that today, but I didn't, and it's fine. Today would also be the day that I would record Pat Bear's Anime Club, but that was what we did on Wednesday was a live recording of that. So I already have that in the can, and I don't have to record it today, which is great. I'm gonna have to mow the lawn tomorrow, and I don't want to. Anyway, I talked so much about pack stuff. We didn't even get into manga, but that's okay because um, I don't have much to say about anime, so we'll do anime first and then manga second in the after the pause of the cause. So don't worry about that. If you're like, well, Pat, when are you going to talk about manga? Don't worry, I will. I'm just going to do it after I talk about anime because I don't have a lot of anime talk. But yeah, we talked a lot more about convention stuff than I would have expected today, which is fine. I like talking about convention stuff. All right, so we did that. We did that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mow tomorrow. I, I I would like it to be fully fall where the grass stops growing so damn fast all the fucking time, and I could, not have to mow all the time. That would be great. I would love that. It would be awesome if I didn't have to use the lawnmower constantly. Really would really appreciate it if I could avoid that. But as of right now, gots to do it. Gotta happen. It's a chore. Um, it's fine. Let's see. Do all that, and then that's kind of my plans for tomorrow. Our lawn maintenance and stuff. Because I'll mow, and then I'll probably like go back in with the weed whacker and like really try to clean things up and make things look more presentable and whatever. Front yard, we use the bag, so I'll have to dump that while we do it because the grass gets high enough, even though I'm mowing all the time, that if I don't, then I would have to rake up the extra grass, and I'd rather not do that. So I got to do all that stuff, clean up here and there, water some things, some pots and stuff like that. Just like just stuff that like I'm sure people appreciate. I'm sure people enjoy and love. I've said this before. You know what's coming. I just have no real like. It doesn't do anything for me. Fresh cut lawn doesn't do anything for me. Oh, the plants are flowering. Oh, okay. Like to me, it's just like, oh, the leaves are falling. I'm gonna have to sweep the driveway again. I don't have a leaf blower. Fine that I don't have a leaf blower, but that means I have to sweep. And it's just like, okay. Like all of it is just like I know that I'm being an asshole about it. But these are my true, honest, and earnest feelings. It's just like somebody's gotta do it. Somebody is me. Okay, fine. Like I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. I would like to be the bigger person about it and just be like, oh, look at this. It's beautiful. But I'm not. Just not that guy. Um, Last week says, speaking of chores, just got home from work and forgot I needed to wash face masks tonight. Got to be some damp masks by the time I have to leave for work tomorrow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, last week. I hope that they do dry out enough that they aren't super damp. Uh, that is important. Mask maintenance is an important thing. Making sure you're clean, make sure you got your, you know, make sure you're ready to go. All you got your extras ready and all of that. Like those are all important things to do, even if they're like annoying things to do. They're still important. So I appreciate that you're putting in the work. But I don't say that enough, folks. I appreciate y'all for many, many reasons and many, many ways. But also, yeah, doing the right thing doesn't always get you the flowers you need, the pat on the back, the thumbs up, because there's this belief in among people, some people that, well, you do it because you're supposed to. No, there's not gonna be a parade for doing the right thing. You just do what you gotta do. And it's like, I mean, okay, that is a way to live, but it's also like, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the manga that I read, but I read so many manga stories that are just like kicked out of the hero's party and immediately and this character immediately gets recognized for being talented because they were not treated as such previously, and just the life-changing effect of having someone say, "No, you don't get it. You're great at this," You're real good at this. I don't know what to tell you. You're really something special. Like there's just something about being appreciated that is, I don't know, pretty fucking cool. Uh, and just nice to have. Um, there's a manga that I was reading a little bit that I'm not gonna like go into detail on like in a review, mainly because it's just like the premise I thought was very fun, but then like it then I was like, oh wait, this is a horny book. Okay, and I just wasn't interested in reading a horny book. But the basic premise was uh, a dude is really bad at um, applying for jobs, like interviews. Like he just fumbles interviews all the time. So he can't get hired at a white magic company that does white magic. And he gets recruited to work for a dark magic company. And like, turns out dark magic gets a bad rap. They're very nice people. And it's a very nice place to work. And he's just like very good at it. And he's like just really thrilled to be like respected and liked and work in a job that he likes. And then also it's incredibly horny. Actually, am I talking about that today? Uh no. I don't think I am. I might be right. I might talk about that on another stream. I may be. I might have written down that I'll talk about it later. But anyway, Last Brick also says, I take the $600 Biden knows me though. $2,000 checks if he gets elected my ass. Yes, I also agree with you. Uh, support would be nice. Yes, doing the right thing is great. Also, getting some support as you're doing the right thing. It's also very good. It's backup. It's good. It's good shit too. All right, so this is gonna go like this. Yeah. And this goes like that. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of these things are just like weird applications. But I don't know. There's so much anime that is a character just being like, "Oh wait, what?" Including two of the manga that I'll talk about in the next hour. Because both what do you call it? Both shows that I'll talk about there. Um, Negative Hero and the Demon King's General uh, is very funny and cute about someone who is just like being treated nicely for the first time in their lives, and also uh, a swordmaster's girlfriend. A swordmaster childhood friend. Uh, it's a bad literal translation because this is a fan project. A swordmaster childhood friend power harassed me harshly, so I broke off our relationship and made a fresh start at the frontier as a magic swordsman. Which is basically just this dude is just like his girlfriend is just being awful to him, and he's like, you know what, I'm out of here, and like changes his style, changes his name, and like turns out he's real good. And we'll talk more about that. But turns out, and maybe there's a reason why. There might be a reason why she's been so awful to him. But anyway, it's that's one of the things to talk about later. But it's got that like, wait, why am I putting up with this? Turns out I'm actually pretty great. Which I tend to like in these kind of stories. Let's see. Also going to have to put this on. That was two. That doesn't look right. K2. Is that K2? That is K2. Okay. All right. We'll take a pause to the calls in a moment too. We'll talk about ways you can support the stream. We'll do a quick version of it because there's not a ton of folks here tonight, which is okay. There's not a ton of folks, but also like I get it. Uh, so I won't drag you down, but I still have to do some of my ad reads. I still got to do some of them reads. I still got to try to get some people to take a look. And it's going to go like that. Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. And that goes in here. Okay. Oops. This like makes a lot of sense, but I'm also like just really slowly trying to get it all together because I'm afraid that I'll do it wrong. I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't have to take this apart because I fucked up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, well, if I can get this right, then I don't have to take it apart. So kind of going slowly on it. But yeah, let's finish this part here, and then we'll take our pause for the cause. Great. So that looks like that. Looks like that. Looks like that. And then we'll have to put the connecting pieces on this K. Great. Anyway, I'll go back here. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, let's show the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the mode in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber, that you're here. Subscribing is an easy way to support what I do. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up YouTube? If you're watching this later on the VOD, hello VODers. You can find all of the links here either in the chat that I'm going to be listing or in the show description below, depending on how you're watching. But yeah, subscribing is an easy way to support me. It's September still for a few more days, so if you want to save some money on a subscription, you could do that. If you wanted to gift a sub to somebody, you could save some money, especially if you're thinking like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to gift a sub. Just hit the anonymous button if you don't want to get a shout out for it. Like, that's another way to support me. Bits and coins always appreciated. Converting your gifted sub into a regular subscription, it's an easy way to support me. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. That is another way to support what I do. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. You can join there with a subscription. You can subscribe for free or join for $2 a month. That's another way to support what I do. On the long road, getting another $100 on my AdSense so that I can take that money out and then buy a model kit with it. Which some of that money was spent on this kit, actually, back in January. I used some money on that. But let's see. Direct donations. Everything I make through Patreon, direct donations through Twitch, through AdSense goes into buying model kits and equipment. So if you want to do a one-time direct donation, you could do that. That's another to support me. I have an Amazon wish list. If you buy something on the wish list, it jumps the queue. I have 3 high grades right now, and I have something else coming in the mail at some point pretty soon. And I'll be happy to build those. I bought them to build them. But if you want instead me to wait on that and build something that you purchased, we'll do that. Because if you buy something, it always jumps the queue because that's the least I can do. I've got Lego sets. I've got model kits. I put in the Bandai, the Neko Busho line. This is the treasure ship Neko Busho. Neko Busho is this like cat thing, like different cats. They look like porcelain cats that like your aunt would have. They look like those, but they're plastic. And then there's a bunch of mech equipment all around them. And the cats look bemused or terrified. I've never built one of those. There's one available right now that is like $24 for this like treasure ship. And there's a cat on it. And I was like, yeah, I want to build that. So I put that on the wish list. I think that'll be cute. But yeah, Lego sets, model kits, all kinds of different things. Inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. Ooh, that dropped in price, so I can move that down. I like to try to organize my price if I can. Yeah, like inexpensive high grades, very expensive high grades for some reason. All kinds of different things that I would be happy to build in the future if you bought them for me to build. And also some of the times I'll just buy them myself. USA Gundam Store is your alternative. You could buy something from USA Gundam Store. You buy a gift card from USA Gundam Store and then send me a DM on Twitter. That is your alternative to Amazon because it's nice to have an alternative. At this point, everyone that is watching has probably joined my Discord, but maybe you're watching this later on YouTube or you're watching the VOD. Join my Discord. It's nice. It's fun, full of great people. Just join my Discord. It's real chill. You'll like it. Let's see. Video links. Pat Bear's Anime Club. This one was story time. It was my time working at Charms Animation and Gifts, which was an import store. Monday's video is going to be the updated new video, which is recorded on Wednesday, which was my summer wrap up slash fall preview. So you can check that out later, I'm sure. Let's see. Best of Build With Baer. This was we were talking about this like nonsense combinations of food, the gut pack. So this is just me. It's just a clip of me talking about the gut pack. This is a clip from a stream, hard bedded subtitles, all that. The service I use to auto generate subtitles is gonna eventually start charging money because people have been using it for long projects. I use them for short projects, so I think I'll be okay. But either way, even if it's a couple bucks, that's worth it because it's nice to have uh, embedded subtitles on those small clips. That's just like a nice thing that I get to do. Um, let's see. I think that's it. We're gonna get back to building in just a moment. We'll talk about some anime and then we'll talk about some manga. So let's get into that. I have to drink water because it has been a while since I had any water, and that's not great. My throat's real dry. So hit the anime button. This. All right. So I'm going to talk about the last episode of what turned out to be the first part of, which is surprising because didn't necessarily know that was going to be the first part. We thought it was, um, what do you call it? It was very clear that it was going to be the end of the first season, but instead it's the end of the first part of the first season. And the second part's coming in January, and that is how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. This was a lot of politicking, but also cute scenes. You got a little bit of everything. You got some cute scenes, you got some politics stuff. Basically, Soma, he won. He quelled the rebellion and got people on his side. He stopped the invasion from the kingdom that was fighting with them, and then also took over their major city of the country. Not necessarily planning to eventually like, okay, then we're going to go take on the rest of it, but just being like, yeah, we took Van, your capital city. Like, what? What do you want? What are you going to do about it? But Soma knows it's not over yet. And actually, one of the biggest problems is coming is because uh, the reason why he got summoned as a hero is because there's a demon king in the Northern Territories. And the nation that has kind of spearheaded the humanity's efforts to take on these demons is the Grand Chaos Empire. Why is a country that is run by a saint, basically, why is it called the Empress, who is a saint? Why is it called the Grand Chaos Empire? Chaos is not a great name to be in the name of your thing. I don't know why. That is an answer I do not have. I do not have the answer to that question. I have been wondering about it since I started reading this manga ahead of the anime coming out. I'm like, why do they call it this? But they do. Anyway, um, there's going to be a diplomatic issue because even though Soma is 100% right and he knows I'm right in this, we were defending ourselves, we took this land in a dispute, he knows Grand Chaos has to help out. And in fact, they also know that they're being used. So by the second prince. The second prince is trying to get them to solve problems he couldn't solve himself. They got greedy. They shouldn't have invaded anyway or tried to invade. There you go. But anyway, uh, let's see. The Empress is sending her sister. What's her name? Jean is going to go handle it. She's like your typical like I'm the younger sister. My older sister is the Empress and the she's the saint, so I'm the warrior and I'll be protector. Okay, let's see. Is that going to get auto? Uh, it did not get auto blocked, so I'll have to do it myself. We're just going to go ahead and ban that account. Okay, so we just went ahead and banned that. And, oh, okay. Well, we're getting these are not keeping up. So Sari is not keeping up with these, unfortunately. So let's see. I go ahead and ban a bunch of these accounts. Hold on while I make sure all these are banned. Let's see. So I should have banned all 4 of those. Did I miss one? I did miss one. Okay. So I banned all those. So hopefully that'll be okay. If we start getting more, then I will turn off the Streamlab notifications so that you don't have to hear that and see that. But right now we'll just do whatever. And then if it becomes actually bad, at least they identify those. Yes, not everyone does. This is like a person who does this with their many, many bots. So they want to be known. Not everyone wants to be well known that they're doing this nonsense. This person very much wants you to know who they are, which is helpful. I mean, it's garbage and they should go fuck themselves, but it is helpful. Anyway, back to talking about better stuff, which is anime. Let's see. Soma's basically brought freedom to the capital, to Van, and it will be hard to take those freedoms away. The freedom of expression, the freedom of performance. That's going to be very hard to take away if and when they have to give up this kingdom or this part of the land that they took. Which was the whole plan. He was propaganda at its finest, because he's awakened the people's interest in self-expression. Let's see. Some of Soma's assistants are working to help with the people with the food shortage, so they're already helping those people. Again, they're invaders, but they could be perceived as invaders, but instead are being perceived as liberators, which is cool. Let's see. What do we got to do here? Oh yeah, Soma takes his sister Tomoe, and I say sister in air quotes. Those are scare quotes because this is the girl that he had basically. He didn't necessarily adopt her. She got the king and queen, the former king and queen adopted her so that she's protected. But she does consider Soma to be her big bro, which is great. Let's see. Yeah, so they're taking her out to buy some stuff. They're gonna go shopping, and Juna, the songstress, is like undercover. They're all undercover, and she's posing like as like the wife, so they can kind of be on a date, which is cute. Because like she hasn't like super made it known that she is like interested in what's up, but she's getting there. She's getting there to make it known. Um, she is like she wants to see what's up. Let's see what am I gonna do here. Uh, yeah, June. Yeah, they have a date, and then they get like, well, guess what? The young ladies get presents, and Soma's not dumb enough to not get presents for his 2 betrothed ladies. So he's also got to get his other ladies a gift, because like he knows what's up. Let's see. Then the date is interrupted by Jean, or Janae, who is the Empress's sister. She shows up. Because negotiations are going to happen, but they have some like light banter, and it's actually like, she's also a realist, so she's like actually like pleasantly surprised about like meeting Soma, and they apologize because apparently Soma got summoned because the kingdom that he took over or he was gifted, they had to pay money into this grand coalition, and they didn't have the money to do that, so apparently it was the Grand Chaos Empire that suggested, well, you have the ability to summon a hero, so just summon a hero. And they actually didn't know if it would succeed or not. They were just like, well, if you tried, that's also helpful. So they were really trying to help. So they also now take responsibility, or they want to take responsibility for it. And he's like, whatever. But also he's like, appreciate that, but now I have a family here and I want to protect it. So, what's done has been done. Let's see. Negotiations are going to come, but first, it's time to give the gifts that they need to give, which is the other gifts for Aisha and Lycia, because he's got to give all his ladies gifts. Uh, oh, also there was a fun moment there, or kind of fun moment where apparently uh, Soma was not aware that there is a rumor that he just that he is a lecherous person because he not only is he engaged to the princess, but he also has like beautiful women surrounding him. And he's just like, oh wait, he's like, wait, is that my reputation? Oh no, oh no, oh, I don't like that at all. Which I thought was pretty fun. And he was just like, ah, shit, is that what's happening? Fuck, okay. Which I don't know. There's moments where he's very human and not just like an incredibly intelligent protagonist. Are nice. It is nice when there are moments where he's just like I think he's like 20, a 20-year-old dude who's just like, wait, people are saying that about me? Ah, shit. All right. I mean, it makes sense, but shit. I don't know. I like that. Anyway, I like the show a lot. It's one of my favorite shows this season. I'm excited. There's going to be more of it. That part 2 is coming in January. It would have been nice if it was a double core and we would have gotten it right away. But also, I wouldn't want it to be rushed because I think it is a great show. And I hope the second season second part of the season is also 13 episodes because I like it a lot. All right, so I got to get this piece in, and I don't know how this goes. It's like that. It goes into there. Okay, so that goes in like that. Okay, and then I'm just talking to you a little bit about 2 shows that I watched some episodes of that I am not going to complete either. So I just want to give you like, hey, here's my thoughts on these programs. The first one being the Idaten Deities Know Only Peace. This is a Mappa show, and so usually Mappa has 2 shows out this season. And usually they have like a really high quality one and a maybe not so quality. Like they have an A team and they have a B team, and it's fine that they have that. Like I'm not mad that they have an A team and a B team. I am mad that the A team is not on this show. The A team is on the show about the guy that has amnesia, or that was in a coma, and then is trying to relearn his love of water polo. Like that's the A squad, and the B squad is on the original series about the fact that gods came down from heaven to fight demons hundreds of years ago, and then uh, the demons have been quelled so long that a lot of the new gods haven't actually fought, and most of the new gods aren't that strong, but a few of them have been trained to be strong, and so now it's only a few gods or Idatens are here to take on the demons who are being revived by humans, because of course they are. And it's the art style looks really cool. Like if you Googled it and you were like, oh, I watched the trailer, like, oh, this looks pretty neat. It's just bad. It's just boring and bad. Um, it is a bummer. Oops. Speaking of bummers, time to put this up because uh, last month around this time we got a bunch of gift subs, and those gift subs have expired. So now we're at 46 out of 50. Snow Cherry, Cheerio. Thank you for the follow. Sorry about that. Appreciate that. Welcome. Um, I'm making the Zigok, but I'm panel lining it. Oh, nice. Panel lining is always cool. The Zigok looks good with some panel lines. Yeah, we've been panel lining this because the Noir has really nice gray pieces, so that looks really good. I mean, look, gray and white are always going to look good with panels. This kit doesn't really need a lot of it, but it does have enough gray that it can look pretty good. So yeah, good look at it. You have that next to you. Yeah. Um, this was a kit that like it's weird because it's just like, oh, it's a 2007 kit, but yeah, I never built it, so I'm happy to be doing it now. Um, that exact kit. Nice. The Strike Noir. I built the Odery. Was it the beginning of this year or was it last year that I built the Strike Odery, which is like pink, which I really like because there's just not enough pink kits. Oh, you're doing the real grade design. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a great looking kit. Um, okay, so then we need to build some stuff in I and we J. Let's get the J pieces out first, then we'll do the I's. But yeah, that's a great looking kit. Um, so yeah, Idaten Deities only no only piece, not that great. Wish it was better because I do like the work that Mappa does. I think it looks really good, but its writing isn't that strong. Uh, and yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. What is pretty great, and it's on Funimation, is Kageki Shojo. Kageki Shojo is not going to be for everyone. It is about an all girls um, uh, uh, music and drama school. And the main character is this sweet girl. She's 5'10" and therefore incredibly tall comparatively. And she is like all this lovely personality, and there's all prima donnas and people who are very serious about the craft. And she's like, she is serious, but she's also like just like a fun person. And her roommate is like pretty, like at first like kind of like just uber serious and not looking. She's not there to make friends. But it's like kind of this odd couple who also still have a lot of the same passions and love for things. It's I mean, it's called Kageki Shojo. It is a shojo. It's a lovely series about like a bunch of ladies trying their best. And there's music in it, but it's not overwhelming because I'm not super into idol shows. This doesn't feel like an idol show. But because I didn't know. I didn't know. But I have a couple friends who are like, well, I think you'll like it because I'm a little over the like school setting for things. I'm a little tired of high school things. And I understand, hey, manga, anime, light novels, you know, some of it is marketed and with the perceived audience of being people in school. And I'm not blind to that. I know that some of these shows are not being written for me, a 41-year-old who loves anime and manga and reads an occasional light novel. I understand that I am not, in many times, the target demographic or audience for a show. So, me being like, I'm kind of sick of this, like that's fine. That is often besides the point. But anyway, it's very cute and very fun, and I would recommend it. I would say you watch the first episode. It's on Funimation, like I said. You can watch that with a couple ads if you don't have the Funimation if you don't have a Funimation account. If you do have a Funimation account, well then you just watch it, and it's pretty great. So yeah, I would recommend it. Uh, and then again on Monday, I will talk more about shows that I didn't give a proper shake to. I'm slowly working through all of them. Like I talked about the Honor at Magic School. Um, that was a show that I hadn't really given a shake to, so I gave a shake to that. There aren't many left because I talked a little bit about Scarlet Nexus, and I keep trying with Scarlet Nexus. Uh, my genuine belief with the anime of Scarlet Nexus is that everything that people like about the video game, which is the fact that it's very much an anime, you're playing an anime. So those like tropes that make it a kind of interesting, fun video game make it a fairly by the book, boring anime to watch. So I'm gonna try it. I'm trying. I want to give it a little bit more, and then I think I'm gonna try to watch Battle. We'll start in 5 seconds. Maybe. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know. Maybe I'll actually give Sunny Boy a shot because I do have friends who are like, this is my favorite show of the year. And I'm like, fuck, I really don't like avoiding like best of the year contenders just because I'm not into the genre, which is to me, psychological battle royale is not something I'm super into. Uh, but as I've said, I've heard such good things about the that particular program, a Sunny Boy. That I'm like, maybe I should just try it. I don't know. I mean, I watched the first episode and was just like, nah, I'm good. But maybe I'm not good. Maybe I do need to watch the rest of it. I don't know. We'll see. Um, Again, on Monday, I'll post, if you didn't watch the recording on Wednesday, my complete thoughts about all of the anime that I watched this season, and my previews of next season. I'm excited for next season. A bunch of stuff that I didn't think was going to end up on Crunchyroll is on Crunchyroll, which is nice. There's a few things that haven't been announced to be on either Funimation or Crunchyroll, which I'm like, I hope they get picked up. Um, they probably will. I mean, there's always going to be something that somehow ends up just on Hulu, or not rarely is that the case, or like, but more likely, there's always something that ends up like Verve is the, like High Dive is the only way to watch this show. And it's just like, all right, well, watch this on High Dive, I guess. I guess that's the only way I'm going to watch that. Not that I watched that Den Mother anime, but I do have a friend that says that some of the characters are very fun. But I was like, yeah, but the premise is that a like young boy becomes the den mother of like a bunch of horny ladies, and I was like, no, that's not an anime I want to watch. That's fine. I can skip that one. I might, it's like, I think I'm good. Hey, maybe it's fucking great. Maybe it's zany and really funny and fun. But I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good on that one. I can skip that one. We're just doing we're doing our quick and dirty panel lining here on this. We could wait until all these components are together, but why not? Let's just get this done. And then we got we'll do a little bit of brown on the red here in a little bit. We'll just do this quick because especially some of this is going to get connected and covered over, but it'll be easier to do it now than later. So we're just hitting this, and we're going to hit it with an eraser in a little bit. Just doing all of the indents here. Could I do a slower, more thorough job with that? Could I get some shading in? Sure, I could do that, but we are doing this on stream. This is not my home. I mean, this is my home, but this isn't like a build that no one's going to see. I'm not going to take up close, incredible photos of this in front of a backdrop. I'm just doing this to do this. Honestly, a lot of this is just showing you, hey, you want a panel line, you can just get a couple Gundam markers and go nuts. Get a Gundam marker and an eraser, or even just a tissue, your finger, Q-tip, whatever. You can just do this real quick, and it does make a big difference. It does look great. And then you just kind of wipe that off. But yeah, I like using still love using this eraser. I think it just does a great job. All right, then we just gotta hit a little bit on this V here. We're gonna talk about some manga. I gotta do that. That's what we'll talk about till the end of the stream, basically. Or who knows? Maybe something else will come up. But I've been reading a couple things. I only read a few things that I want to talk about here, so I'll put them in the chat so you can follow along. And one of them has a real long title. The first one is called I applied as a swordsman, but my magic aptitude is 9999. 9,999. And it is, hey, it's based on a light novel, and it is exactly what it says it is. It's what it says on the tin. So a young lady has been her whole life since she was like a baby trained to be a swords wielder, a swordswoman. Her parents both wielded the sword. They were vanguards, and uh, uh, her dad in particular thinks that magic is useless. So she's never learned magic or trained in magic or did anything, right? And then it's time to go to the hero school. It was started by the hero years ago, and hey, let me find out. She scores over 100 in her martial arts prowess, her swordsman. She gets like over 100, which is a record breaker. Which is, it's like one's like other highest was 60, and people were psyched that there was somebody that strong there. And she's just like, oh, okay, well, and they're like, hey, by the way, maybe you have an aptitude for like defensive. Maybe you can cast like strengthening magic or defense magic. So why don't you just touch this stone and we'll measure your magics? And she's just like, sure, whatever. I don't know. It's kind of, hey, that's kind of fun to find out. I don't think I have any of that. And so she does it, and it comes out as 9,999. And they're like, there's a moment where someone's just like, it could be higher, and that could be the limit of the machine. You might have scored higher than that. And so then they're just like, hey, you have to go to the mage program. And she's just like, no, I won't. I want to learn sword fighting. I should point out at this point that this character is like 10, 12. She's a child. And so she is stubborn like a child, which is fine. It makes it kind of more fun that this young lady is so talented in everything she does, but it is weird. So they're like, hey, look, we can't send you back to the swords program. You're so talented that everyone in the mage program got so fucking excited that you're here that they're like so jazzed about like what they can learn from you. Not even what they can teach you, what they can learn from your. They want to see how much you can grow while you're here. Look, you can quit. Please stick around. Uh, and here's the thing. She kind of learns a little bit as she's going. Magic is pretty cool. It's kind of neat. She's like kind of getting into it. Uh, Also, if she's fighting with someone who uses magic, she can just kind of learn the magic you're using and use it against you, uh, which is pretty great. And when I stopped reading it, because it's fine, it's nothing particularly fantastic. It's like I said, it's perfectly okay. Um, I got to the point where she wanted to after school do swordsmanship, um, and they were like, "You can't. We don't want you to be tired. We need you to focus on magic." She's like, "Then I'm definitely leaving this school if you won't let me in my own time study swordsmanship." And she has to like fight. She has to fight her teacher, who is considered a prodigy in her own right, for the basically like making a bet, which she does win because there is somebody in the swords program who scored slightly lower than her, and she's like, "I want to get better at using the sword." Um, and I bet her parents, find out and what blah 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 and all this other stuff. But yeah, I wish she was a little older, uh, just emotionally. But I do think it's like a fun premise. It's not a great show, but it's a fun premise. Here's the thing that I have only literally one complaint about, and it's lovely, and that is Negative Hero and Demon King's General. What this is like, there's a little action in this, but this is just like a slice of life. Uh, this is the hero. She's a young lady. She's a young teen. She finally makes it to the Demon Lord and just gets her ass kicked. Uh, and the Demon Lord's like, or Demon King's like, what are you even doing? What's happening? And she's just like, I have to fight. I have to do this. They're. I don't know what to do now unless I can defeat you. And she just starts crying. And he's just like, wait, what? What's going on? What's happening? And it turns out, hey, you know how like when you're like a thing that happens in some of these shows, usually in this kind of story, after a character has defeated the Demon Lord, then they find out that people are like scared of them and like think they're gonna like take over the world or whatever, or like they're scared of their power. And this one, the people are just like, you're a hero. You have to do this. You have to be strong. You have to. You're a young person, but you have to like get stronger and fight all these things for us because you're the hero, and this is what's expected of you. So just do it. And no one has treated this young lady with respect or dignity or common courtesy until. So the Demon King's just like, you can stay here. You don't have to go back there. And so the story is just her like slowly trying to accept that she deserves kindness and good things. Like the maids are all just like immediately just like, oh, she's going to work. She should work for us because she's adorable. And like one of the first people she meets is like is like a skeleton guy who's just like, heard I heard how they treated you, and I can't believe this. Here, and just like he's treated well, and everyone's just like on board, and she's just like 100% totally does not, did not, could not conceive of the notion that uh, that these might be very nice people that also want the best for her. Um, and my only complaint is that each chapter is very short. It's like half of a normal length of a manga. It is they are so tiny, and that is a shame. I wish they were longer. I wish each chapter was longer. This is the biggest recommendation I could give for a manga in a very long time. It is so sweet and earnest and lovely. Um, Oops, I'm getting a lot of. Gonna have to that Streamlab. Gonna turn off the Streamlabs because I am getting a bunch of hosts on, and um, it's Sayer is not working right now. Seribot is not blocking all these, but yeah, I turned off the notification because I'm getting a flood of hosts follows. So I'm gonna have to look into. Sari is not keeping up with them, so I'm gonna have to look into another auto block thing, which is frustrating. But yeah, I'm getting a ton uh, of follows here. So I've turned off my notifications so you won't get flooded with the sound of that. So don't worry about that. Turned off Streamlabs there, that part of Streamlabs, so you won't see all this. But yeah, I'm just getting just getting flooded with fake accounts coming at me. That's great. It's gonna take forever to go through my activity feed and block all of them. Fun. Sari bot usually can auto block all of these and notices them come in, but it is not doing that right now, which is annoying. Anyway, Dirty says you should check out Mr. Villain's Day Off. I will take a look at that. Mr. Villain's Day Off, sure. But anyway, that series has been lovely. Oops, I'm hearing it in my head. I'll check out Mr. Villain's Day Off, sure. Let's see. And let's see. The other show I want to talk to you about is, or book, is A Sword Master's childhood friend power harassed me harshly, so I broke off a relationship and made a fresh start in the frontier as a magic swordsman. This is the thing of this is like kicked out of the hero's party style story, but in this particular case, it is. I'm gonna take my headphones off because even though I made it so that you're not going to hear stuff, I'm still hearing the. Actually, I'm going to keep my headphones on because I'm used to it, but I'll just mute my audio so that way I'm not hearing the audio notifications coming through from Streamlabs. Because I can block the overlay, but I can't block the audio easily. I mean, I can, but can't. Wow, I just got so many of those Haas accounts coming in. I'm going to have to go in, also try to update other things. So that's fun. Okay. What step was this? Okay, yeah. So, um, but yeah, so our main character, instead of it being like the hero's party, is just the hero. They're childhood friends. They've been together. They're in a relationship, and she treats him like trash. Because the thing is, yeah, he's not as strong as the hero, but he's fucking strong. He is definitely good at what he does, and it doesn't make any sense that that she is treating him so poorly. Now, later, we do find out at least one of the reasons why she is the way she is. Like, there is a reason for it. It's not a great reason, but it is, and it does. But basically, like, she's treating him like he's nothing, and he finally quits, and he changes his hair color, and he gets contacts so that he changes his name so that he can like go off into the forest and like not be tracked down, uh, so that he can continue to do whatever he is, be an adventurer. Also, turns out he can use magic. She was so focused on teaching swordsmanship, which obviously she was going to be better at, that she never let him study magic. She was like, "Oh, you're not going to be good at magic." Turns out he is. He's a magic swordsman. He can use all forms of magic, and he is incredibly strong at using magic. Uh, and he just is basically like meet some people that think he's great. He's feeling appreciated, and then like to the point that he just like kicks the ass of a dragon, just like a dragon who was just like treated people poorly because it was so strong, and he was just like punched it, and the dragon's just like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Hey, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, I was acting real tough. I don't know, but yeah, he just punches the dragon." Um, and then eventually just like, all right, I'm gonna just go on a quest and do some stuff. I don't know. It's a cute story. Like I said, it's very generic, as these stories often are. But it's good time. Uh, I recommend it. I think it is worth checking out. Um, all right, let's see what we got here. We'll keep moving on there. So yeah, that was the manga that I've been reading. Uh, Nothing major. Let's see. I can tell you what I am going to. I can tell you what I'm going to be checking out in the future. I'll probably check out what was recommended for me by Dirty, which is Mr. Villain's Day Off. Um, let's see. Uh, oh yeah, this is one that like I've been kind of interested in checking out. A 29 years old living single guy living single transported to a new world to live freely. At least he wanted to, which is just like uh, basically he's just like I'm going to live the single life. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do all this stuff, and he basically gets honey potted by an adventurer who is looking for somebody to like be her savior and to teach her and all that. Uh, and generally, when a character gets honey potted, in this case, she gets him drunk and sleeps with him. Uh, you would imagine the character would be pissed off. The main character would be mad, and he's like, "Well, if we've been hanging out long enough, we probably would have gotten together because you're attractive and it would have happened. I don't like how you pushed it, but okay." Basically, so he's like kind of okay with it. I guess I'm gonna check that out. I don't know. I don't love the premise, but I'll probably check that out. Um, and the useless tamer will turn into the top unconsciously by my previous life knowledge. Uh, Sounded like it might be pretty fun. Um, which is basically the very rare accidental magic accident summon, which is the main character gets like just accidentally gets put into a new world, um, where he is a beast tamer in a world where beast taming is considered the shittiest profession. And he's like, it's the best profession. What are you all talking about? It's hard. Uh, and most of them are just like subjugation. He's like, no, you make partnerships and contracts. Like, what are you guys talking about? So he's going to rise in the ranks of being a tamer so that he can eventually show everybody how fucking rad it is because he knows it's awesome. Which I like. I like the idea of that. So I'll probably check that out. Lastberg wants to know if I have seen the Bebop opening. Yes. Well, first of all, the new Cowboy Bebop, the Netflix series, it's incredible looking. I think it looks really great. It's a little uncanny valley, but I think that might just be because it's an opening. Um, I mean, it's always nice to hear Tank, and it looks cool. Uh, and I've been hyped for it. Hyped with reservations because some of the Netflix stuff hasn't been my favorite, but that's been mostly animated, and I like the cast, so who knows? Um, if it gets a few more people to check out Cowboy Bebop, I think that is rad. If some people like check this out and like it and want to go, um, yeah, I mean, I think like it depends, right? Is the opening what the show is going to look like, or is it just a cool animation techniques to make it seem like it's uh rad as shit, like to draw you in, or is it a peek into how the show is really going to look? Because it could be either. I don't know what it's going to be, but I am excited for it, and I liked it. So we'll see. Uh, when it comes out, I'll definitely be watching. So yeah. All right, let me get these done here. I just gotta put these on here. These on here, and then we just gotta hit with a little bit of black. Really, all we have to do is just hit. There's a little notch in here. Oh, good. Uh, Seribot did block one of them. I imagine that Seri, Sery_bot, is just overwhelmed by all of the hosses, but at least it auto banned one of them. So hopefully it'll go through and start auto banning all of them. Otherwise, I will be just checking my activity feed and manually blocking all of these, which is a bummer. Because it takes a while for new blocks to get added to Commander Root's auto block thing. Although I do keep that updated as much as I can. Lester says, also, it makes me weird how cagey they've been about Ed being in the show when the opening has several one-off villains prominently displayed. But I'll watch it for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I think they're just like, this is not a replacement for Cowboy Bebop. It isn't, but it is. Uh, so I don't know. Um, I don't know what what to say other than I'm intrigued by it. I would like to see what it's gonna be in the future. And yeah, they're being cagey about a bunch of stuff, and I don't think that's wrong. Uh, you know, I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Some of these don't want to go in that easy, and then you have to get trim it down a little bit here. There we go. Let's do it. These might also flake out, and I might need to use the what do you call it? Liquid cement, but hopefully I won't need to for these little accents. We will raid in a little bit. Also, Victor, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome. I don't have my overlay on right now because of getting a bunch of bot followers. But yeah, welcome. Guess we can turn the overlay back on. now. Yep. So we are going to raid at the end of the stream. We will go find somebody out there doing stuff. Maybe they're model kit building. Maybe they're playing a video game. We'll find someone and hang out with them. That'll be cool. My next stream will be on Monday, where we will work on the rest of these shoulders and finally use our last screws, and then also build the weapons that belong on this kit, because there are weapons that have to go on here, the dual pistols, and also the other guns that belong on this kit. So we'll be building that as well, and we'll wrap up on Monday, and then if there's time on Monday, we will build the another kit, work on another kit, which will be really fun. This kit has been enjoyable to work on. I bought this in January, and I'm glad I finally got the chance to work on it, because it's been a few minutes. All right, it's been a little while since I got a chance to work on this, so happy for that. Let's just get these together. So basically, these are all connected. They just need to, we need the connectors to go on the backpack. And then when we do that, we'll be all ready. But it took a while. But at least we're body complete, and then we have this. And yes, and our last screws will be put together, which will be part of the backpack to connect these. So, and these have, you know, they can move around and they do different things and change their positions. So they're, because these are weapons, of course. They gotta be weapons. All right. So, oh great, we got more horses. So gonna go ahead and turn that off. Go the overhead here. Turn Streamlabs off there. Because yeah, we're just gonna get a bunch of this. So this is a great time to stop streaming, because we're just getting a bunch of these nonsense things, and I have to deal with this later. So thanks everybody for watching the stream. We are going to go and raid. That is the thing we do at the end of every stream, is we go on a raid. So we are going to go do that in just a moment here. Let me go and find a stream for us to go hang out in. We'll do that. Again, next stream is on Monday. Continuing working on this kit. We are body complete, and I'm happy about that. And then we're gonna go. Who's doing stuff? Wiggins. We haven't raided Wiggins in a while. We're gonna go give Wiggins a raid, playing Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which I don't know anything about. But we're gonna go give Wiggins a raid. I hope you're doing. You hope you had a fun time tonight. I had a good time streaming. I hope you check me out on another one again on Monday. Or maybe on Wednesday, you want to play Jackbox with me. Next Wednesday, I'll be playing Jackbox Party Pack 7, because Party Pack 8 is coming out in October. So let's finish up. I'm not finish up. Let's play 7 and play Quiplash and Champed Up and I don't know, maybe something else. But we'll do that. But right now, let's raid Matt Wiggett. So feel free to come along on this raid. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you check out another stream in the future. I hope you come along on this raid. Not a lot of you, but enough of you. And I'll see you in the next stream. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.